From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. With durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all. You need the Kubota construction lineup. Right now, write it off a lot and write it off your taxes for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $4,000.
Tractors, trailers, rentals.
You do it all, we do it local.
Well, happy Friday afternoon to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to take a look at the latest forecast model data and let you know what we can expect here as we go through the weekend. We're seeing some minor changes and a few things that we're kind of watching here very closely. And that is, of course, number one, we've got a cooling trend going into the weekend. That cooling trend is going to lead to some gusty winds later on tonight and especially for the weekend. I think the strongest winds will be on Saturday. Now we're also looking at a chance for some showers and snow as we go into your Saturday here for parts of Northern California. A closer look at that in a second. We've got slightly warmer start to next week with those weaker winds as well. So it looks like we're going to start off fairly dry, but then we're beginning to see more and more chances for maybe some wet weather as we get toward the end of next week. Around Thursday and or Friday is when we can start to see that better potential for showers. Nothing significant, but what it does is it could potentially open the door for more storms to come in as we go into the first week of February. So again, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's get you right into it. We're going to start off with what you can expect here for the rest of the day today. Plenty of sunshine, maybe some afternoon cumulus puffy clouds developing for some of the higher elevations, but it remains dry for most of us throughout the day. All right, so with those winds I was talking about, there is a wind advisory for most of Northern California. You see, areas that are out of it are going to be southern Humboldt and extreme northeastern Shasta County, most of Lassen, in fact, all of Lassen. Well, no, you can see a very little part of Lassen and eastern Plumas. But bottom line, it's going to be gusty, no matter where you are, even the areas outside of the wind advisory. We're going to see gusts upwards of 35 to even upwards of over 60 miles per hour, just depending on where you are. Now, this wind advisory is mainly through the weekend, but I think the strongest winds will be on Saturday and then slowly subsiding, but still gusty through the day on Sunday. So here's some of the things you got to watch with these winds. Number one, the winds may be strong enough to break tree limbs or even bring down trees, which could in turn lead to the potential for some power outages as well. We've also, on travel, you got to be careful passing those big rigs. A lot of times these gusts of wind can unexpectedly blow that truck into an oncoming lane. So you've just got to, or a lane next to you. So you've just got to be really careful here when you're driving in these gusty wind conditions here. So yeah, a lot to really kind of pay attention to here. All right, so let's take a look at those winds. As we go into this evening, we're beginning to see the winds pick up. Nothing major, more of a nuisance than anything else. I mean, you're talking 15, maybe a little over 20 miles per hour in some spots here. Still not that bad for the southern end of the valley. But by tonight, tomorrow morning, that's when you're going to start to notice it. Now we're seeing 25 over 30 miles per hour in the valley. Strongest winds looks to be for the foothills east of the valley and for the north and west side of the valley. But there you can see those stronger winds. And off to the east, north, along the coast, again, you're seeing some very strong winds midday on Saturday. Then we go into Saturday afternoon, showing some signs of these winds beginning to weaken a little bit, but still gusty. You'll notice that even more for your Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Again, you see how they're starting to kind of break apart. So again, those strongest winds will be on Saturday and then slowly getting weaker through the day on Sunday. Still maybe a bit breezy on Monday, by the way, but overall, those winds are really starting to die down by the second half of the weekend and into early next week. Still some clouds as we're kind of seeing push through to the south, but behind that, we've got the clearing skies. But there, as I mentioned, maybe some afternoon cumulus clouds developing for some of those higher elevations. But for the most part, really no rain embedded within these clouds. But it's the area of low pressure that's diving down to the south that will eventually bring us even a chance for some showers and some snow in the mountains. So let's take a look at that on Futurecast here. Here we are at 5 o'clock today. You see how we're seeing mainly sunny skies, but there are a couple of spots in the mountains that could see some afternoon clouds. And you'll also notice around Humboldt Bay, southward into Highway 101, there could be some low clouds lingering there as well. Now tonight it remains dry, but by tomorrow morning, look at that, we're beginning to see some snow. Now the main area of low pressure at this point is down to our south. And the flow around that area of low pressure is going to be coming in this direction. So think of low pressure, right? You've got low pressure down to our south, and it rotates around the area of low pressure in the counterclockwise. So you can see where we are. We're on the north side of that flow. So what happens is the activity comes in from the southeast, moves its way to the northwest, and then eventually kind of working in this direction. So look what happens as we go into midday on Saturday. We're seeing the snow, especially in Plumas County, southeastern portions of Lassen County, but even some of the higher elevations of eastern Butte and Tehama County, quite possibly seeing that. And then look at this. We're also seeing the potential for some showers for Butte and Glenn counties here by midday Saturday. Now we go into Saturday around 5 p.m. That's pushing even more to the north. So now it looks like even Corning could get in on some of this light shower activity. Willows, Red Bluff may even see some activity, but right now it doesn't look like Redding will get any of this. Okay, then we go into 10 p.m. Saturday. We're still kind of in that flow here. It's a slow moving system, so it's going to keep us within that flow of where some of these showers are coming in. So Oroville, Chico, Willow still seeing some activity here. And check this out. As you go into Sunday morning, there'll be one last little push trying to come on through. We could be looking at the potential for Sunday morning, maybe some showers out near Red Bluff. Could it approach the Redding area as well? Not out of the question, but you see how it kind of just breaks apart. Then by Sunday afternoon, it's all completely gone. We're dry for the rest of the day on Sunday, and then we're of course dry as we go into early next week as well. So what does the snow look like? Well, it looks pretty good, right? You're seeing some of the snow. Now, again, I think what we're going to see out of this is maybe at most a light dusting of snow for places like Susanville, Chester, Quincy, and even Portola. That's where most of the activity is going to be. But you can see how it does make its way into northeastern Butte County and even parts of eastern Lassen County as well. And look at this, even off to the west, a little bit trying to develop here as well. Probably won't have major impacts on travel, but if you are traveling in the mountains through the day tomorrow, be aware you may run into a little bit of snow down to the south and east, and it may delay your travel a little bit. So what's all happening? All right, so you can see this cold rush of air right here that's coming down. So that area of low pressure, we saw where the rain and snow is going to be. Now let's talk about the impacts this storm will have on our winds. And we just talked about and saw those strong winds. Low pressure to our south and east, high pressure to our north and west. A classic setup for some gusty winds coming in from the north and northeast. As this all shifts to the south, still gusty winds, but we're beginning to see the winds relax just a little bit. Now, still a little breezy, I think, on Monday, but as all of this shifts eastward, our winds will start to die down. And high pressure will be the dominant feature once again. That's going to warm us up a little bit here as those winds die down. But eventually, this ridge of high pressure will shift eastward, and that will allow this storm system to come on in. Now, it's not a very strong one, doesn't have a ton of moisture. It's breaking apart a little bit here, but I'm expecting sometime around Thursday and or Friday, we may start to see some rain move in. Now, as you can see, it's not anything all that significant, but what this is going to do is lay the foundation for us to see more rain as we go into the first week of February. So what I mean by that is, we've been looking at a blocking pattern for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. It's been blocking all of these storms from moving in. What we're doing now is, as this storm system moves through, it's opening up that storm door, and any storms that develop behind it are going to be allowed to move in. So we'll just have to wait and see what that will turn into, but it looks like we're going back to a wetter pattern toward the end of January as we wrap up the month of January and go into the first week of February. Sounds good, doesn't it? Not guaranteed, but certainly something worth watching. All right, here's what we can expect here for your Friday. Temperatures low to mid-60s in the valley, mainly in the 40s and 50s for the higher elevations. For the coast, we're looking at those temperatures probably somewhere in the low to mid-50s. Looking at your 7-day outlook for the valley. So what you'll see here, Redding, no rain. Red Bluff, you're in that kind of borderline where it's going to rain, where it's not going to rain. So not out of the question for Red Bluff to maybe see some showers, especially maybe Saturday night and maybe early Sunday morning. And then Chico, yeah, I think you've got a better chance to see some of those showers. Now again, is this going to be a lot of rain? No. I mean, we're talking a trace to maybe 100 to 200ths of an inch of rainfall at most. It's not going to be much, but it's a little bit of wet weather. Then Sunday it's completely dry and windy. We're dry with calmer winds through the middle of next week. There's that next chance for showers as early as Thursday. We may push that back to Friday, but for now, it looks like it could be here possibly as early as Thursday. The coast, inland, and Trinity County, I think all of you will be dry this weekend, windy over the weekend, dry through Wednesday of next week, and a chance for showers. Snow levels for Trinity County, by the way, around 3,000 feet by Thursday. For Mount Shasta City, Siskiyou County in general, dry all weekend. Modoc County, you'll be dry all weekend as well, but windy. Look how much cooler it is too. We're down to the mid to upper 30s. And then we start to see temperatures begin to increase. And then we're dry, but then you'll notice, again, you got that chance for snow out towards Susanville. Okay, and then we head out Monday through Wednesday of next week. You got dry and slightly warmer conditions, and then a chance for some rain and snow as we go into Thursday and quite possibly Friday of next week. That's your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.
Wiggly mouth.
Woggy mouth.
No.
Painting.
Wiggy mouth.
It's Woogie Moth Painting.
It's Wogamoth painting, and yes, we'll paint anything.